it's Leah at Buttercream Parties. Today I want to share with you this tutorial for how to make marbled buttercream sugar cookies. First, we're just starting out with some undyed crusting buttercream frosting, and we're going to put some onto a plate, about as much as what you would fit in a piping bag. Then you're going to put a small amount of colored buttercream frosting on there, and then use a angled flat spatula to kind of fold the frosting together. You don't want to do too much. This tutorial uses a piping bag, which I love because I'm not the biggest fan of rolled buttercream, or at least working with it. I think it tastes great. I actually got this method from Sophisticakes by Mary here on YouTube. She uses it with cakes, and I figured we could do it with buttercream frosted cookies. So what you'll need is a piece of plastic wrap. It's going to be about the same size as a piping bag. I like the 12-inch ones from Wilton. And we're going to start scooping some of that frosting onto the plastic wrap. I'm using my palette knife to help get it off of the angled flat spatula, just so I don't mix up the color too much. And then you're just going to want to wrap up that frosting, roll it up, pinch off one of the ends, and cut it off. We're going to place it into a prepared icing bag with a Wilton 2B tip. One side has like teeth or a comb, and the other side is flat. So go ahead and place that in there. So now what we're going to do is you're going to grab your cookie, and using the flat side up and the teeth side down, you're going to pipe some wavy lines. You're going to want to do as many cookies as you can fit onto a baking sheet, because we're going to be using the Hutch Oven's frozen flat method. You can read about it in her Creative Cookie Decorating for Everyone book. I'll go ahead and link that below. Unfortunately, my camera lost the footage for the frozen flat method, but basically you're going to line a baking sheet with parchment paper, and then you're going to flip the cookies over and press them down evenly, and wait until there's a little bit of the frosting coming out of the sides. Then you know you've pressed down enough. You're going to want to place these cookies into the freezer for about 10 minutes. So picking up where my camera started re-recording, you're just going to carefully peel the cookies off of the parchment paper, and this is where the magic is going to happen. You're going to start scraping off the top layer to reveal the marbled look. On some of the cookies, I didn't have them perfectly pressed onto the sides, so I am just adding some of that leftover frosting that was scraped off onto the sides, and then continuing to smooth and scrape. Now you might get lucky and see that your cookie already has a lot of really good marbling, and you don't want to mess it up. So you don't need to scrape those. These are just if you're seeing a lot of white, you're not seeing very sharp marble lines in there, you can take your palette knife or your angled flat spatula and scrape it off until you just see the sign that design that you like. Just keep note that if you keep scraping, you're going to scrape away the design too. So try to find a happy medium, of course. So we're going to do this for all of our cookies. If you notice that it is kind of blending or smoothing too much and you're not seeing lines, you'll need to pop them back into the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes and then scrape again. The icing is just getting too soft and the white is blending into the color a bit too much. Now don't worry about cleaning up the edges yet. The frosting is going to be too hard and it will cut lines into your frosting and take off chunks. So we're going to scrape the edges and clean them up in a little bit. Basically, you want to wait until you're done scraping off all of the 12 or so cookies that you're doing at a time. And then you can go in and clean up your edges either with the palette knife or the 9-inch angled flat spatula, whatever you prefer to use. Okay, now here they are. You can see the marbling technique. If you want to make it even more bold, you can come in with some metallic paint and a paintbrush, or you could do a watercolor, gel color design if you don't want to use a metallic. Basically, I've mixed some gold luster powder with I think this time I did Everclear, but I usually use vanilla extract, and just go in and paint some accent lines. So that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I think it's a great alternative from using rolled buttercream frosting. Again, shout out to Sophisticakes by Mary here on YouTube. I'll link her channel below. Make sure to subscribe and like, and let me know in the comments what other videos you would like to see. Here are some photos just in some different colors that I've done mixed with some florals. These were actually recommended by my family's wedding that I made some cookies for. So anyway, thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.